I don't know what it is about running, but sometimes after a long one, while my body's buzzing and the edges of my thoughts are still soft, I get hit with something clear, something honest, not dramatic, just real. Today it was this. Jordan Peterson changed my life. That might sound overstated, especially with all the internet noise around him lately. But I'm not talking about the headlines. I'm talking about something quieter, something that happened years ago, before everything got loud. My mom had been reading one of his books. She told me I should check this guy out. Said he was onto something. Meanwhile, I was already watching some guy on YouTube talking about myths, meaning, in the Bible in a way I haven't heard before. And sure enough, a few weeks later, we realized we were talking about the same person. That felt important, like a breadcrumb I was meant to follow. Back then, I wasn't looking for a guru. I didn't need a preacher or a political voice. What I needed, what I didn't even know I needed, was someone who could talk about the human experience with structure. Someone who could make sense of chaos without flattening it out into a slogan. Jordan didn't tell me what to believe. He made me look harder at what I already believed and why. And maybe that's what a good teacher does. They don't fill you up with answers. They just hold the mirror in a way that makes you finally look. I've seen that video that's going around lately, the Jubilee one, Jordan Peterson versus 20 atheists, and I'll admit it was hard to watch. Not because of the conflict, but because I saw the same thing I've seen in him many times. A man who won't fit into a box. A man who might believe but won't say it. A man who circles the edges of faith like a storyteller walking the perimeter of a fire. When someone asked him directly, "Are you a Christian?" he dodged it. Again. And part of me wanted to shout, "Just say it." But the deeper part of me understood. Because maybe he knows what I've started to feel too. That once you put a label on something sacred, people stop listening. They assume. They project. They turn you into a mascot instead of a man. And maybe he's protecting the story, not avoiding it. Jordan never saved me, but he woke something up that had been sleeping. He made me see that the Bible wasn't just a dusty rule book, that myths weren't childish, that suffering wasn't meaningless, that order and chaos weren't enemies, but dancing partners. And now, years later, when I go for these runs and come back dripping and breathing and awake, I realize how much of that awakening started with him. Not because he gave me truth, but because he gave me permission to chase it. So maybe that's what I'd say if I could talk to him. If I could sit down in a quiet room and cut through all the noise. Thank you. You taught me to question without needing an answer. And in doing that, I found something better than certainty. I found my own path through the dark forest.